The freedom to fly across the skies. Levitation is one of the many things that makes Morrowind such a vastly superior freeform experience compared to the later Elder Scrolls games. Yeah, that's right, suck it, Oblivion. But having said that, it does have its own little headaches. Perhaps one of the most annoying aspects of levitation is that nearly every levitation spell or potion that you'll find comes with a preset time limit. That's often just either too short or too long, and leaving you falling before you reach your destination, or just hovering there waiting for the bloody spell to finally wear off. Enter today's Mod of the Day. For today, we're showcasing Alteration Movement by Landro Sol, a mod that transforms movement with levitation and gives you far greater freedom and control over how long you're in the air. Now, you can dynamically turn levitation on or off by jumping into the air and holding down the jump key. Just keep that jump key pressed down to levitate, and let go to drop back down to the ground. No longer do you need to wait for a spell to wear off or cast a spell magic on yourself. Levitation will only last for as long as you're holding down that jump key. This isn't free levitation though. This form of levitation does come with a cost, which by default is 3 magicka per second. So every second that you're holding down that jump key, you're draining 3 magicka, and that obviously builds up pretty quickly. If your character only has 120 magicka, you'll only be able to stay in the air for about 40 seconds. So, you know, this isn't a complete replacement for traditional levitation spells or potions, which are vastly more economical in terms of the amount of flying time you'll get. But that greater cost comes with greater control, just, you know, perfectly ideal for short and mid-range levitation flights, like flying up to a Telvanni tower or reaching a hidden nook in a cave. And it's also just vastly more convenient, since you don't need to perform a casting animation to use it, or open your inventory to down a levitation potion. Not only that, but this also works for slow fall. So if you're falling, you can hold down the snake key to cast slow fall and just gently float down safely to the ground. Though again, this does have a magicka per second cost, so best to use it sparingly. Finally, there's one more feature here. The air jump, a mixed levitation and acrobatics ability that'll allow you to traverse big gaps in quick leaps. Simply jump forward and then press jump again while holding shift to perform an air jump. A massive leap that'll have you jumping around like Tar Heel, but you know, without the whole plummeting to your death aspect. The higher your alteration skill, the bigger the air jumps that you'll be able to perform. And honestly, this is just a really fun way to explore Morrowind. It's a lot of fun to play around with and jump from spot to spot. Personally, I consider this to be a must-have mod. Between the finer levitation control and the fun new ways to move around, it's a major quality of life improvement, and one that's particularly handy for those of us in the showcasing and playtesting business. But one last thing I should mention, you know, just for the sake of clarity, this mod does not automatically give you access to a levitation spell. You must first have an alteration skill of at least 30 by default in order to access these features. Now, naturally, there is a MWC mod config menu where you can adjust or turn off just any of the features here. But that's just our mod of the day. So, as always, I've been your host, Golf Guy. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.